Good day to you all. My name is Aisa Uchimura. I'm from Royal Palm Beach, Florida, and I'm honored to have been elected by my classmates to speak to all of you today. I suspect many of you who have attempted to express yourselves through words will agree with me when I say the English language is incredibly limited. We are not well equipped to convey emotions, having only one word for several kinds of love, as well as descriptors such as huge or tiny, which usually fall on opposite ends of extremes. It can be difficult to say exactly what we mean, and sentences are often annotated and re-annotated as we speak. This is why, when words so often feel incomplete, experience is vital. Experience is a key part of the human learning process, as it helps us remember what we have done and why we do it. I cannot speak for everyone here, but I have, thankfully, always had an emphasis on learning and applying new knowledge in my education. Even so, I have found some knowledge just doesn't stay, and many quote-unquote real-life scenarios can still be meaningless questions you will never realistically encounter. Classes at Conserve never felt this way. Discussions were almost always followed by a relevant activity where we employed what we had just learned, such as carving and paddling dugout canoes in history after a lesson about Lewis and Clark's expedition. Apart from being important to education, experience is also a tool for new awareness. Before I came to Conserve, I thought I knew the woods and how to appreciate them in their full grandeur, even though I had only read pleasant articles and books or seen pictures of where I was going. My ideas of nature were, like those words and photographs, highly idealized, always with sunny skies and clean air and water. It was not until arriving, living, and thriving within Conserve School's vast campus that I realized how shallow my appreciation of the environment had been. It took a semester of learning about the water and nitrogen cycles, breathing with trees, trying to identify plants I had no name for, and camping in a 2-day downpour for me to realize how much goes on underneath my nose and how beautifully imperfect and sometimes unforgiving nature is. Because of the experiences I now have, nature ceased to be a 6-letter word I believed I cared about and became a tangible, diverse system which I love. There is a significant difference between the concept of knowing something and actually knowing it. The reality of actually knowing it. For myself, Exploration Week was a prime example. I had been told both thrilling and cautionary stories and informed of possible dangers which could occur. However, after solo camping for a whole 2 days in fair weather, I was convinced I knew all there was to know and would be completely fine. Was I ever wrong? As soon as I was out there, I realized I still had so much left to learn. I nearly spilled my group's food twice on the first night, misread our map several times, and almost ended up with hypothermia during the 2 days of cold, heavy rain I mentioned earlier. If I believed I knew what camping was before, I was reminded strongly that I am always learning something new. And without that experience, I would still believe I knew it all. I am well aware that the message I'm trying to convey is one which has been said before, but I believe some messages are worth repeating. Without experience, we cannot fully appreciate the many aspects of the world around us. Conserve and its many inhabitants, from the staff to the students, to the flora and fauna outside, have shown this to me. Thank you, parents, for having courage and allowing your children to come to this school. These experiences have changed our lives and my perspective for good. I feel privileged to have been here and sad to be leaving. Students, although sadness is natural, we should not be entirely forlorn about our time at this school coming to a close. Leaving is the start of a new beginning, with new experiences to learn from and to add to our bank of knowledge. Sometimes we will still have to settle for words and hope they are enough. But when chances to have new experiences and adventures arise, take them. Thank you.